Salam jumpa pemirsa televisi edukasi dan sahabat edukasi dimanapun Anda berada. Senang sekali saya Nyoman Widianggrini dapat hadir kembali menemani Anda dalam Gelar Wicara. Saat ini saya sudah bersama dengan Mame Omar Diop, Senior Program Specialist at UNESCO International Institute for Capacity Building in Africa. That's right. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, first of all, tell us about your experience in UNESCO regarding education all these years.
Well, I would start by thanking the Minister of Education and Culture of Indonesia for extending an invitation to us. This shows also the envy to open up the education system and to keep on the development trends within the sector. For myself, I'm a national from Senegal. Okay. And my name is Mame Omar Diop, and I've been in UNESCO for 13 years, working in education sector, first at the headquarters in Paris, and now I'm based since 2013 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where we are working on teachers' issues directed to the whole African continent, the 54 member states. Okay,
so what is the most interesting part in working in UNESCO in education?
Well, I think, generally speaking, it's very interesting and then motivating in working in multilateral organization. And then also, if you couple that with the education sector, which is a passionate sector where a lot of developments are taking place, I think that makes it a very unique job. Myself, I've been schooling in Senegal, and then after in France, and then after in the US. So I'm a kind of global citizen, and then the fact that I work in the sector and seeing a lot of trends, be it in Europe, in Africa, or in Asia, makes the job very unique.
So you have seen a lot of education system.
Yes.
You've been experienced it a lot.
Yes.
So
yes.
Can you explain to us what is the current condition of education, especially in Africa?
Well, that's a great question. When we talk about education, I must refer to the global agenda, which is currently the Sustainable Development Goals, and before it was the MDGs, Millennium Development Goals. So in Africa, what we have been witnessing recently is before 2015, we had access to education problems, where a lot of kids couldn't go to school because there were no infrastructure, or because of wars, and sometimes because of displacement of people, be it refugees or migrants, and then due to some kind of natural disasters, and sometimes also because of lack of infrastructure, as I said. So that was before 2015. But the governments in Africa have put a lot of efforts in building schools and in providing access to education to the large number of population in Africa. And at that time, the quality of teaching and learning was quite average, at the average level. But now, after 2015, what we are witnessing, after those efforts of opening up the schools, the quality has gone down. The quality meaning that the learning outcomes of students, be it in reading, basic skills of reading, and mathematics and science, is really, really poor in terms of achievement if we compare it to the rest of the world. Okay. So today, I believe that this is, from access, the problem has shifted to quality of education and learning.
Okay. So can you tell us how is the teaching method in Africa? Are they already using ICT, or starting, or some, or how is it?
Of course. In Africa, ICT is being used, but still we have some gaps to fill in. There are a lot of challenges which are not the same as in other countries. The rural area of Africa is quite big. And then the infrastructure most of the time concentrate on urban areas. And then we have challenges which are related to energy, like power. Power outage is something which is common in Africa. Yeah. And then also connectivity. Connectivity, I mean being able to access the internet through mobile devices or through internet connections from the line. Still very big challenges we are having in Africa. This being said, the schools that are there in Africa also witness some kind of lack of energy. About 40%, this is a study that was done by the Global Education Monitoring Report from UNESCO. About 40% of schools do not have energy. So how can we foresee the use of ICT in those settings? So those are big challenges that we are having, but at the same time, we have also a raise of the connectivity in terms of providing learning platforms, and then there are some open universities and virtual universities that have been created.
Okay, we're going to have a very small break and we'll be right back. Pemirsa, jangan kemana-mana, kami akan kembali setelah jeda yang berikut ini.